Hello everybody, it's me. I'm not doing a makeup video today. I might do one tomorrow or even tonight I might do one. But today I just wanted to talk about a subject that's been weighing on my heart, and I'm sure that a lot of you can relate to it, but it's just about mental health. And it's for me, I turn on the news and I already just get these feelings of like stress and anxiety. And I get to the point where I don't want to watch news at all. And when I go to read up on news, it's hard to distinguish sometimes between what's real and what's not, which adds to the anxiety. So I hear a lot of people talking about, and myself included, how this world has changed and people aren't the way they used to be. And, we have so many people, just doing these horrendous crimes and doing things to one another that is just, there's just no excuse for it other than they're not tending to their mental health. And a lot of people, let me put it like this, in my experience as a worker in that field, I think there's a lot of things that contribute to that. Number one, a lot of times people don't know what's real and what to believe, okay? Back in the day, we paid our little money and we got our newspaper. I know my brothers were both newspaper boys, and that kind of be your source of news, and, maybe your parents or the people you lived with, whatever, come home and watch the news on TV, and we didn't really question it. And we started finding out that a lot of things were untrue, which, a lot of us knew, but as children, that's not really something that they know unless you talk to them about it. So now fast forward to this day and age, and I'm not going to tell you how far we're fast forwarding because I don't want to age myself. But anyway, it's almost like we're tossed into this situation, we're tossed into a whirlpool and haven't been given the tools to learn how to swim, and that creates a lot of exacerbation of pre-existing sort of like a pre-existing map for a road to have mental health conditions down the road, mental health conditions to the point where you're unable to work and unable to be what you deem to be a productive member of society. I don't like to judge people because some of the things that people go through are indescribable. A lot of us believe in science and some of us don't, but it is my belief, and this is my opinion, and I'm not speaking as a professional, I'm speaking as a normal human being, that there are some of us that are predisposed to not dealing with life stressors as well as others. And when you, like I said, it's like throwing somebody into a whirlpool and they don't know how to swim. And then if you've also got these pre-existing sort of like genetic markers for certain conditions, usually stress is the trigger or some type of traumatic event or something like that to, say, ignite the fire. Then what you have is you have a situation where people are walking around with these mental illnesses and are unable to get the coverage that they need, not even the coverage that they need sometimes not even educated enough to know what mental illness is and how to take care of themselves. And so they go into the world with these kind of odd ways of having to cope with situations. And it spreads and it becomes generational. And it's really hard to, as a worker in this field, to know that you can't help everybody, you know. If you're lucky in your career, you know, what I say is if I've helped one person, then it would have been worth it for me. But I did get to a point in time where it was too much for me. And I'm proud of myself looking back on it. At first, I looked at it as a failure. Can't handle this. I can't handle the stress. I can't handle this. No. I have chosen to take care of me. And me being super, super, super empathetic, I tend to carry around other people's problems. I'll be more concerned about what they're doing and how they're doing than they are. And that's not a healthy way to be. It's okay to put yourself first sometimes. You know, some people put themselves ahead all the time, you know. We're all wired different. We're all wired different. We're all going to approach life in a different way. But I guess my overall message and what I really wanted to say is that mental health should not be looked at as anything separate from physical health, because is your brain not a part of your body? I think that's one of the most frustrating things of being a professional in the field that I get from people is, you know, why should I go to somebody and let them tell me what to do? I can control my own life. And I'm like, it's not about that. It's about tools to help you manage a mental illness if you have one, stress, depression, anxiety, all these different things that we go through. There are individuals out there that are more than happy to take on the task of helping you find your way. But you've got to seek it. Sometimes, you know, people get on the whole victim side of things, and it's not fair this, it's not fair that. Well, whoever said life was going to be fair? I have never, ever, ever in my life heard at least anybody in my circle say that life is fair. So the fact is you have to learn to operate in despite of the inequities and the different things that we all face. This is not a racial thing. This is not a gender thing. This is not a socioeconomic thing. Stress gets to us all. And the literal definition of mental illness is a decreased ability to deal with life stressors. Simple, right? So on the bad end, it could be a death. On the good end, say you win the lottery. That is still a stressor. Okay? Because there's a lot that goes into the process and everything. So what I say to you is if you're having a difficult time mentally, find a person and let them know. You don't have to come online. You don't have to call any of the numbers, although the numbers are very good, 988. Reach out. You'd be surprised how many people are going through similar things. And unless we collectively start respecting each other more and not shaming differences, until we get to that point, we all have to take special care of our mental health, you know. So I just wanted to leave you with that thought, and we will definitely get back into the makeup. And by the way, makeup is a way of me coping with stress. It's very relaxing for me. It's very, I love learning about it. I love trying it out. It brings me peace. That's why I do it. Find your peace.